What's up, everybody? It is Caitlin here, nurturing light and life. I'm back again with little Brucey. Yay, he's here. So I'm here to tell you about his birth story. It was a home birth and my first home birth experience. So let me just pass him off to my husband and we will get started. Yay. All right, you guys, I'm back again with the fourth birth experience that I have for you. So excited to share this because in the other videos I haven't told you guys, but this whole time we had been planning on doing a home birth. And it was such a questionable thing too because they wanted my hemoglobin at a 12. And when I got it checked for the first time, it was at about a 10.2. And so they gave me a bunch of supplements and things to do, and it went down to a 10. I was super devastated. So, like, literally up until, like, the last week, you know, we weren't sure if they would let us do a home birth if my hemoglobin didn't get up to a 12. And, you know, they said they would take an 11 also. So I'm over here praying and fasting, you know, in the way that I could to have this experience, because this is something I've wanted since I had my first child. I always knew that a home birth was just something that resonated with me. It sounded really good, and I always just wanted to try it and do it because it just seemed like such a peaceful experience. So, that said, I did get, thanks to the Lord, my hemoglobin did go up to an 11.4, and so that was just the most exciting news. Baby's head was head down. You know, when I went to the chiropractor, that helped straighten out my hips and everything, and so the baby's head was down. I did not have group strep B, however it goes. And so those were all great things, you know, and my favorite to be able to have home birth. I was so excited. So let's get started with the story. We start out May 12th, just a few days ago. This is day 5 out of having a baby, so had him about 5 days ago. And basically, my contractions started at 1:50 in the morning. So I'd gotten up, went to the bathroom, came back, and it was just every 5 minutes. I got my app out. Every 5 minutes for 1 minute a piece. And let me see. I was like, whoa, this is really close. Like, this baby could be here by like 10 a.m., you know. That's what I'm thinking, because that's kind of it. If it gets to 5 minutes apart, 1 minute per contraction, you're pretty close. So that's what I was thinking. So that's when I texted my midwives and I said, this is what's happening. And they said, okay, we'll contact us if it gets any closer and such. So I'm like, okay. And at that point, I had to text all my friends because I wanted them to be, and family and just anybody that I love. I was like, I have to let people know where I'm at because, I don't know, for me, it makes me feel like a part of the experience. And, you know, I personally would love to get a text like that, like, hey, I'm in labor, pray for me or something. So that's what I did. I just sent out mass group text messages to people that I love and let them know. I was like, hey, this is what's happening now. And, you know, pray for us. So, that was like at 1:50 in the morning. So I think people were expecting, I certainly was. I was like expecting things to happen by like 10 a.m. You know, I'm like, with this, you know, it's my 4th. It'll probably go pretty fast. I was like, yeah, so I thought that. So, you know, 1 p.m. comes. My contractions had slowed considerably down. By 7 in the morning, I said to my midwives, well, they're still coming, but they've slowed down a lot. So there's that. And they said, well, melatonin makes your contractions come on faster. So maybe by evening, they said things will speed up. And so I went throughout the day. I think the furthest contraction apart that I had was about an hour apart. But I was still having them, you know, every hour, couple of times. By 3 o'clock-ish, that's when I decided to stay up in my room, in my bed, on the floor. My floor is the bed. I can have another video about that later. But anyways, so there I was laying down, relaxing as best I could. I watched The Parent Trap. I was eating. I was trying to get some rest, just trying to stay comfortable. But by about 3 or 4 o'clock, I didn't feel like getting up. So I wasn't moving around. I was just laying there. My husband and my mom, they were here. My mom was taking care of the kids. Ryan was kind of taking care of me and the kids, and just, yeah, that was a big relief to me that they could be here, that they could just take care of things so I could, like, do my thing. It was really nice. So 4 o'clock, that's when I texted my midwives, and they got a kick out of the text message that I gave them because I was so specific. So at this point, it was looking like what it would look like with Arthur. Arthur's went for 20 hours. His contractions with him started at 2 in the morning. 12 in the morning. But he didn't come till 20 hours later at 8 p.m. And it was the same pattern I was recognizing, like, started out with a lot of contractions, they spread way out, and by nighttime, he was there. Okay, so that's what I was recognizing. So I said to the midwives, I said, okay, so I don't feel like getting up. If you guys could be here by between 7:30 and 8, my guess is the baby would be here around 9 o'clock. So that was my guess, right? And later she told me she got a real kick out of that because she's like, nobody does that. Nobody says, like, a time. And with my first, I remember I had written down on a piece of paper and then in my, like, planner, and then on my computer, it was an hour discrepancy, but one said baby at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and the other said baby at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. Because I just thought, why not? You know, if, like, you could pick the time, what would you do? And I just was like, well, Sunday at 10 sounds good. So I wrote it down, and sure enough, she came at 10:47. So this one I didn't, like, write down or anything. But anyways, I was in that mindset of, like, well, my guess is he'll come, but, you know, around 9 o'clock. And I ended up being, like, an hour and 50 minutes off. But so they come about 8 o'clock, and it's always a relief to me when I see somebody that's there to, like, help with the birth. 'Cause it's like, okay, all right, I can like, whether it's, like, let go. I always tried to, like, not feel like I needed to let go because it was a home birth. I just was gonna be let go the whole time, and I think I was. So first home birth experience. They came in and they sat on this little couch right there, and I really felt like I was on display. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, they're here. I gotta, like, perform or do something, or, like, you know, get going or get things moving or something like that, which that's my fault. I had told them, I said, I don't want any direction. I don't want you to tell me what position to get into, which is kind of rude. I mean, but I was like, at this point, I was like, I know what I want. Okay, so don't tell me what to do. So they were just together sitting on that couch right there, and I'm over here, you know, naked, doing my thing, and it just felt weird to me for some reason. I'm like, this is kind of, maybe, it just did, okay, it just did, because I felt like I was, like, being watched by, like, there's my husband, there's two ladies that I knew because of going 9 times, but here's where it gets good, like, they were respecting exactly what I had asked them to do. So I had to be the one to say, you know, after sitting on this cool birthing stool that they brought, leaning on this ball my friend let me borrow, and just doing all the different positions that I wanted to do. You know, I had already tried, like, standing and squatting at that point because I was, like, feeling the urge. But I wasn't sure if I should wait longer or if I should push at that point. At that point, it was, like, 8:30, 9, 9:30. You know, it was during that time where I was like, okay, I'm having these contractions. Should I put all my effort into pushing or should I wait? I was just trying to decide. So it got to the point, guys, where I was so exhausted. Like, I was physically exhausted because I was remembering back to my last birth experience with Julia at number 3. And we got to the hospital. I was feeling ready to push. And as soon as and hers was only like 12 hours, the start to finish. And as soon as I felt that urge, and, you know, Bethany was in the room and we were all set, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I had, like, 1 push water breaks, 2 push head was out, 3 push whole body. But this one, Mr. Senor Bruce, was like, I felt that same, like, readiness, but I just felt like he was, like, stuck. You know, I was like, why? And every time I had a contraction and I would push between, like, 8:30 and 9:30, his head, like, was in the same spot. I'm like, okay, this guy's not going anywhere. Like, it was demotivating, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I just put my all into that, and, like, he didn't move. So Oh, okay, so it wasn't until my husband got up off the ground, came behind me. I was sitting on the birthing stool at that point. And he just put his hands on my shoulders, you know, and I leaned back into him, exhausted. Like, I felt like I had done everything I was supposed to do. I had, you know. Felt like I had done everything I was supposed to do. And so he came out behind me and he put his hands on me and I just rested back like that. And I felt the support. Yeah, I sincerely felt the support. I felt the love, the warmth, just the, you got this, Kate. You know, and beforehand we talked about it and I was like, just think all the good thoughts towards me because I'll get them, you know. And so he held me there, and from that moment on something changed. And I just said, guys, I just need help, coach me, I don't know what to do. And but it felt good to lean back on Ryan. Like, that's the only thing that felt good. I just leaned back on him. And then we came and sat down. I said, I just need to sit with you behind me and I'll feel better and stuff. So we sat down on the floor. And that's when the midwives came. Tanya on my left, Kelly on my right, Ryan behind me. And that, again, another wave of change. I was like, okay, we're a team. We're together. They are in this with me. So it was like that physical act of them coming to me. I could have verbalized that sooner. I realized that, like, hey guys, come touch me and hold me and like help me and push out this baby. Just like, I needed that. So, you know, my bad for like saying, don't touch me, don't tell me what to do. Because when they finally came to me, at my sides, at my back, and I said, okay, help me. So Kelly takes her 2 fingers, puts them in my vagina opening, I guess is where it was. And that's when I started pushing. She said, just push towards my fingers. I said, okay. And it felt good to be kind of leaned back at that point with a leg up. And I did one of these like lean forward curls. That felt really good. It felt good to push. It felt good to have that direction. Kelly was just totally motivating. And she's like, good. That was a good push. Okay, let's do it again. Oh, I felt so motivated when like they talked to me like that. So apparently I need that. That was really awesome for me. And so a few pushes later, you guys, this was nuts. This was like, oh. A few pushes later, my water breaks. And I'm not talking just like a little pop. I mean, we're talking, it was full on like, you know, like just like that. And oh my gosh, I had never felt that pain before. Like, you guys, I don't know what hit me. It was like his head just goes like, bam, his heart, you know, bam. And it hurts so bad. I can't even tell you. Like, I feel like I have my memories of what birthing was like. And I never had remembered that one. I was like, I've never felt that before. That was new. And there I was just like in pain. Now, I will say this. I never had fear. I had let go of that a long time ago. At this point, it was literally just, I was in pain. And it hurt. But I still maintained a level of awareness, you know, like, okay, I'm in the act of giving birth. But I was in pain. Kelly could tell, Tanya could tell, Ryan could tell, I'm sure they could tell. But Kelly said, hey, you're so close. You're almost there. This means you're close. Oh, and when you hear those words, it's like, yes, okay, she's right. So, it was hurting to lean back for some reason at that point. And I had to stand up. So I stood up. Because I said, lean back. I said, I gotta stand. It just hurts too bad. So I stood up. And this was really neat too. Kelly supported my perineum with her hands as I pushed. It was just different from a hospital birth. Like, these guys, my midwives, they really cared about me. They cared about my body. They cared about, you know, him coming out smoothly and gently so that I didn't tear. And I thanks to them, I had nothing more than a teeny tiny skid mark. Like, amazing, you guys, amazing. Granted, it's my 4th kid, but they really supported that perineum and, you know, coached me through it. So when I did finally stand back up, and she had said, you are close. I was like, okay, I can do this, you know. And I stood up and I squatted down. Like, I mean, we're talking like I went from full standing, and I'm just like all the way down the ground. I'm like, I'm doing this all the way down the ground. oh guys, it hurts so bad. Not gonna lie, that mess hurt. Like the last 7 minutes is where it's at. I'm telling you. And if you can get through that, whew, it's all good. Like, it's like as exquisite as is your pain is exquisite as is your joy. That's like the best comparison I can have. But there I was squatting, and nothing. It's like all the water broke. I got a little motivated, so I stood up, squatted, and I may have even like felt, and like his head still hadn't like done anything as far as actually no, at that point after the water had broken, that's like when it came a little bit, but still not as like much as I thought it would have. And they had been checking my heart rate throughout it, like every, I don't know, maybe it was every 20 to 30 minutes. They were, of course, time is like totally warped for me when I'm going through that. Some moments seem longer than others, but they were checking the heart rate. Heart rate was good the whole time. So after that last like powerful squat that I did like everything I could and nothing. You know what I did? I just was like, oh my gosh. And I just fell onto Ryan. I just like literally was like, I'm gonna fall over. And I did. I was like, and then as soon as I fell onto Ryan, who of course caught me, I'm just like, okay, Kate, you can't do that. You can't like fall over. Like, come on, you're almost there. And they were motivating me, you know, they were like, come on, you're so close. And of course I was yelling. So I lifted, I think one knee. And to be honest with you guys, I can't remember if it was like my right leg or my left leg. And I was leaning back. Let me think. See, I was leaning back on I was on my left side, yeah. Leaning like this, lifted my leg up, and I just, you know, at their coaching. Okay, come on. Oh, and I just yelled one big one. Oh, and there came the head. And then Tanya goes, okay, that's the biggest part of the body. You're almost there. If you can just get one more push, he'll be out. Or the baby will be out. You know, at that point, we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. It was a surprise, our first complete surprise to the very end. But I always felt it was a boy. Because my kids, it's really cool. I always ask him, my children, from the first time I was pregnant with my second, I would say, what do you think the baby is? A boy or a girl? And I will tell you this. They have never been wrong. They have always been correct in the gender of the next child. How cool is that? So, I've been wrong before, and twice. I remember I thought my first one was going to be a boy. The second one was going to be a girl. Anyway, so I got that reversed. But the point is, I think children have they have this way of knowing. They have this connection to heaven that maybe we've dropped off or something. So that said, they knew it was a boy, and I was going with that. One morning we were sitting in the study over here, and I said, it was early on in the pregnancy, and I said, so mom's gonna have a baby. What do you guys think it is? And the ones that could talk said, boy, just like that. I said, oh, a boy, okay. So at that point I was gonna just like go with it, because I was like, they haven't been wrong. So I said, what should the baby's name be? And there was silence, and then my daughter goes, Bruce. And it hit me so hard, I was just like, ooh, Bruce Bradbury, I like that. And I thought, of course, if we had thought of something else or done another thing, we would have gone with it, but it just stuck, and like we liked it. And so my daughter named my second son. Kind of funny. So going back, there we were. Head came out. She said, he's almost there. I said, okay, and then one more push. And he just slid right out of me. Right out of me. It's intense, you guys. I don't know how to explain this, but it's like, after that water broke, man, it was just like, okay, ow. And like, what's happening to my body? You know, you're just like, oh dear. Whole body slid out, covered in slimy vernix. And Tanya was like, holy cow, that's a big baby. That's gotta be... And she was saying like 10, 11 pounds. She said at least 10 pounds, you know. And I'm just sitting there, you know, like, oh my gosh, what just happened, you know. And like, I see this baby coming out. And I actually didn't have contacts in, and my glasses were off. And so it was all like blurry. But, you know, I probably would have been blurry anyways, because let's be honest. Everything's out of focus sometimes when you're in labor. So I grabbed the baby, and my hand goes up onto his, like, bottom part, and I felt his penis. I was like, it is a boy! It's a boy! I was like, it's a boy! And then I put him on, I turned him and yep, it was a boy. And, oh, that was such a neat feeling. He was so big and slimy. I mean, and I was so exhausted, you know, I was trying to, like, put him on my chest, and, like, I just kept sliming him, you know. I'm like, I would, like, get him up, and he would just, and so we were going back and forth with that. But guys, he was at 10:50 p.m. They weighed him 11 pounds, 2 ounces. Can we just talk about 11 pounds, 2 ounces for, like, 2 seconds? So my whole pregnancy, this one and I swear last one, it's like strangers, people that I knew and didn't know. Oh my gosh, twins! And I'm like, no, just one baby is in there. Yep, I feel huge. And like, let's be honest, I don't know about you guys, but I can, like, roll with things and joke about things, but, you know, eventually you're like, dude, everybody thinks I'm fat, this is hard. So that was me. I was kind of like, you know, roll with it, it's funny, you know, but eventually, sometimes, some days you're just, I'll say it's like, oh man, everybody thinks I'm so huge, this is so sad. So I have to, like, you know, motivate myself and joke about it, because it is, I mean, let's be honest, I looked like I was carrying twins. I've seen pictures of other women, I've seen pictures of people having multiples, like, it looked like I was. So, you know, I said to people, I was just like, you know, I hope it is a big baby so that I have something to show for it. And then, like, bam! 11 pounds, 2 ounces. I was like, thank you. Thank you. My twin brother and he was 5 pounds and I was 6 pounds. So there you go. I was carrying the weight of multiples, and the world makes sense to me now. Anyways, I thought I would throw that out there. So yeah, my guess is that's why the shock of the water breaking was so intense for me, because it was just so explosive. And as soon as that water break, she said I had, what did she say? Membranes of steel, the water amniotic sac. She said, that sac must be made of steel. Because anyways, once it finally broke, oh my gosh, it's almost like his head catapulted into my perineum, and that's what I think caused just the most pain. But once that was over and the head was out, it was like done, you know, it was done. Of course, you push out the placenta, but by that time you're just like, you felt, I mean, if you can push out a head, you can push out a placenta. So yeah, there we were. His head was big, 39.5 inches, and I have to look, I don't know how that compares to the other kids, but they were surprised. My midwives were surprised. That was a big head. All the glory be to God, to be honest with you. Miracles happened. It was a blessing. I mean, I think it's one thing to have a home birth. It's another thing to have an 11-pound baby. And then there I was, not knowing. I know how you can't know you're going to have any size baby. I mean, I was bigger with my other ones. Felicity was 8'6". Arthur was 7'9". Julia was 9, 12 and a half, and then Bruce was 11'2". So it's like, and I felt like I was big with all of them, but so I mean, the point is, you don't know like what the weight of the child's going to be until the child's there. And then, so it's a whole nother ball game to have like an 11-pound baby at home. So I recognized later, I'm still like, it's soaking in. I don't really quite fathom, you know, it's a miracle, you know. God is good. I'm grateful to him for this home birth experience, and all the glory to be to him. Thank you for your prayers and your kindness and love towards us. It was such a tremendously beautiful experience, and the postpartum has been absolutely wonderful. I spent 4 days just in my bedroom watching movies. My husband brought me food. My mom was taking care of the kids, and I just got to like lay down. And this time around, I didn't do meds. I did meds the first 24 hours, and then I stopped taking and by meds I mean like ibuprofen. Now, this was a good move. I would encourage every woman to just like not take painkillers after you have a baby, and here's why. I noticed that in 4 days I stopped bleeding. Like, I was like expecting there to be more blood, but this was the first time, and the midwives encouraged me. They said for 14 days, just like lay down. You can take the stairs once a day if you want, but you know, relax. So as I've taken that counsel, I've noticed that my body's healing a lot quicker, and I would encourage anyone to just not take the meds so that you can feel what your body's telling you. So as I've listened to my body and I've felt more inclination to rest, I've healed faster. It's been really nice. And just being able to sit there, neighbors and friends and people have brought wonderful food. That helps too, just letting people know what I've needed. And it's like, you know, for me, I don't want to deal with food. And running a household like this, it's like there's kid care, there's the cleaning, there's the people bringing you food, and there's your own well-being and rest. So it's like considering all of these things and trying to pull in help where I feel like I've needed has been huge. So thank you for the help and the love and the prayers and the support and the food. I'm so happy, I'm so joyful, I'm so grateful that everything went so well, and it's been a great experience. So it was a great home birth experience. I'm so grateful. So hope there are many to come, and I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.